At the beginning of the movie, the protagonist Soichiro Takakura narrates his life story. Ever since he was a little kid, he bore the loss of his loved ones. His mom died a week after giving birth to him, after which he was raised by his father, who passed away when Soichiro turned 17. All alone, Soichiro then adopted an abandoned cat and named him Pete. Shortly after, Soichiro was adopted by his father's friend and inventor, Professor Koichi Matsushita, who also has a daughter named Riko. As time went by, the intelligent Soichiro studied electronics and learned mechanical engineering at their home lab, as Mr. Koichi is a robotics engineer. However, as fate would have it, Mr. and Mrs. Koichi die in a plane crash, so Riko, still a middle school kid, is sent to live with her uncle Kazuhito, who is also the business partner of Mr. Koichi's company, the Future Work Enterprises, FWE. Coming to the present, in March 1995, the 27-year-old Soichiro is working on a project for Future Work Enterprises, his adoptive father's company that he half owns. He lives alone with his tabby cat Pete, who hates the snow. One day, while Soichiro is working on his humanoid robot prototype that he has named A1, Riko visits him. As it happens, she is about to move to a school in another city. Riko is thrilled to see Soichiro working on the plasma battery, a project her late father was working on that will revolutionize the world of machines. Just then, they hear a knock on the door. Rin Shiraishi, the company's secretary and Soichiro's girlfriend, walks in with some food and documents for Soichiro. When Riko learns of their relationship, she instantly leaves out of jealousy. On Kazuhito's behest, Rin manipulates Soichiro into signing over 1/3 of the stocks under her name. A week later, Kazuhito summoned Soichiro to the company for an urgent meeting, where he proposed a new business plan. He plans on selling the rights of their robotic designs to a company called Manix Enterprises. Soichiro protests, claiming that he has worked too hard on his humanoid robot model to sell it. Seeing his turmoil, Rin proposes that they all vote to reach a decision, and together, Rin and Kazuhito seize all control from Soichiro, banning him from the company despite him being a shareholder. Soichiro realizes he has been set up by the two, but when he reads the last line of the contract, he realizes that FWE will seize all his equipment. He rushes back home but is too late, as he notices a company truck steering away from his driveway. He enters his office but is shocked to see all his life's work seized and destroyed. Moments later, Riko visits to see a broken Soichiro cleaning his office while drunk. She asks him if her uncle is responsible for this, but Soichiro blames no one but himself because he believes he has lost everything he loves. When he accidentally nicks his hand while picking up the broken family photo frame, Riko tends to his injury and confesses her love for him since she doesn't want him to be alone. However, Soichiro asks her to focus on school since she is a kid. This breaks her heart, so she picks up her bag and leaves. Soichiro notices that she left her Walkman behind, but he can't find the strength to go after her. He also comes across flyers from a company called Credeus that offers cryogenic sleep. Left with a huge settlement and broken dreams, Soichiro decides on that, but at the company they reschedule him for the next day since he is drunk. After making sure that his assets will be handed over to Riko once she turns 20, the doctor at Credeus asks him to reconsider his decision. Soichiro realizes that running away is not an option. Hence, he decides to confront Kazuhito and Rin. Meanwhile, Riko walks in on Kazuhito and Rin, shocked to see that they are dating each other. Riko also overhears their scheme of poaching engineers from other companies to complete the robotic design and plasma battery so they can cash on Soichiro's hard work. Riko leaves the house, pretending that she is going to meet a friend, but Kazuhito figures out that she was trying to warn Soichiro about their plan, so he grabs his car keys to go find Riko. Just then, Soichiro arrives at their place and asks Rin to return his shares in research, or he will go public and ruin the company's reputation. Rin tricks him again by feigning surrender and knocks him out with an injection. When she goes through Soichiro's bag, Pete springs out of it and scratches Rin, after which it makes its way out of an open window. Rin is appalled to see Soichiro's truck driving away, so she asks him if he is working with a lawyer, but Soichiro is incapacitated to answer. In his bag, Rin finds the paperwork for cryogenic sleep, so that gives her an idea to deal with Soichiro's threat. She uses her contacts at a subsidiary of Manix Enterprises, who owe her a favor since she helped them earlier with tax evasion, and puts Soichiro in a cryogenic sleep capsule. Despite his struggles, he is powerless, and she freezes him for the next 30 years. On the other hand, when Riko reaches Soichiro's home, she is blinded by the headlights of a car, implying that she is caught. Time goes by and Soichiro opens his eyes in the year 2025. Confused, he asks about his cat Pete, but when the doctor summons Pete 13, it is a humanoid nurse assigned to assist Soichiro for the next 5 days. While he recovers his muscle strength, a lawyer tells Soichiro that the Mannix company went bankrupt 30 years ago due to tax fraud, which is why all the money he had left has gone. He also learns that humanoid robots like Pete are very common in the future, and the market is dominated by Aladdin Industries and Guardian Manufacturing. He is informed that Riko Matsushita kept inquiring about him over the years and left an address. When Pete is busy, Soichiro manages to escape the facility, but everything around him has changed drastically, with robots and digital signs a common thing. While he waits for a taxi, he finds his wallet and Riko's Walkman in his pocket. Just then, Pete approaches him and shows him how it's done in 2025. Soichiro is shocked to see the fully automatic driverless taxi. Pete claims he is a defective robot due to extra curiosity in him, so he needs Soichiro to fix him. Next, he throws away Soichiro's wallet since gold and money are nothing but garbage in 2025, and apps are used to make payments. After he shows Soichiro the funds granted to him from the cryo-sleep insurance policy, they reach the address Riko left for Soichiro. When they enter the messy apartment, it belongs to the obese and drunk Rin. It turns out that she lied about Riko, so Soichiro would come to meet her. There, Soichiro learns that a year after she put him to sleep, Rin was arrested for tax fraud, while Kazuhito died of a diabetic stroke. Rin was never contacted by the truck that seized Soichiro's research material, so she assumes it blew up with Riko at the explosion that took place at Soichiro's residence. Rin blames Soichiro for planning this all out because a mysterious man showed up with Soichiro's stock certificates to take over the company. However, this confuses Soichiro because he had intended for his shares to go to Riko once she turned 20. He does not believe Rin, but when he finds Riko's grave at a cemetery, he breaks down. Moving on, Soichiro listens to Riko's favorite songs to grieve and decides to find the trail of his FWE shares intended for Riko. Pete decides to help him, so they head to a library and learn that FWE was bought by Guardian Manufacturing. Just then, Pete announces the initiation of his rest mode. On inspection, Soichiro learns that Pete runs on a plasma battery by Aladdin Industries. So the next day, he heads over to the industry and meets the CEO Gota Tsuboi, who became an inventor since he was inspired by Soichiro. He tells him that his company bought FWE many years ago. However, the exclusive rights of the software were once held by Aladdin, and all of this had been arranged by Soichiro himself. This confuses Soichiro because he has been asleep for the past 30 years and has no memory of making any arrangements like this. Moving on, Soichiro also discovers he owns patents for the first-generation Pete 1 robot and its plasma battery power source, and also finds patents under Riko Sato's name for Pete 2. Gota mentions a defamed Professor Toy, but Soichiro has no memory of him. So he searches the internet and comes across a video of Professor Toy claiming that time travel is possible. Hence, Soichiro and Pete seek him out. Toy showers Soichiro with gratitude as the plasma battery powers his time machine. This is where Soichiro realizes that his creations enabled time traveling, just like he always wanted. Toy vehemently sends Soichiro and Pete back to the year 1995 with some gold bars and asks him to hand the cash to a younger Toy for his time machine research. Back in the past, in February 1995, a patent attorney, Taro Sato, finds the unconscious Soichiro along with Pete, and he brings them to his home to his paraplegic wife, Midori. Pete tells them everything about being from the future, and when Soichiro wakes up, Taro has a room ready for him to complete his research and invent Pete 1, while the gold has also been cashed. Since the scam happened in March, Soichiro has less than a week to finish Pete 1. After Soichiro gives the money to Toy, he files his patents for Pete 1 and the plasma battery, asks Taro to expose Mannix Enterprises for tax evasion, and incorporates his new company, Aladdin Industries, with Taro as the CEO. Meanwhile, Pete hijacks the FWE truck that contains all of Soichiro's research and equipment. This is why Rin mentioned the truck never made it to her and Kazuhito. Soichiro then heads to Kazuhito's home and finds himself subdued by Rin. He manages to grab Pete the cat by breaking a window for it to escape through, after which he drives away in his truck. Then he heads to his home, where he finds Riko. After hugging her, he tells her that he has come from the future and saves her before Kazuhito can get his hands on her. They fake Riko's apparent death as Soichiro blows up his house with his truck. Just then, Pete, The android shows up in the FWE truck, and they all make their way to Taro Sato's residence. There, Soichiro asks the Satos to adopt Riko, to protect her from her evil uncle Kazuhito. After leaving all his research and stuff in Sato's care for future Goto when he buys the FWE shares, Soichiro says goodbye to Riko and heads to Credeus for his original sleep appointment to keep the timeline intact. 30 years later, Soichiro wakes up and is greeted by Pete, 13, along with Pete the cat that survived the cryogenic sleep. Soichiro learns from Taro's letter that Riko went to college and became an amazing robotics engineer. After she joined Aladdin Industries, she helped develop new Pete models. In 2005, she entered the cryogenic sleep program for 10 years to reunite with Soichiro when he woke up. Soichiro realizes he has feelings for her, and with the age gap no longer a problem, he rushes to Riko's room to welcome her into the future. In the end, they hold hands as Pete the cat looks out to a clear sky promising a happy future. With that, the movie ends. Thanks for watching The Door into Summer. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. See you next time. Welcome, sci-fi fans. Futurist Flicks is thrilled to launch our exclusive membership program, designed for loyal fans like you. By joining, you'll unlock early access to recap videos, unseen recap videos, raffle prizes, free merch giveaways, exclusive content and behind-the-scenes insights, access to community events, live streams, and Q&A sessions. Join the Cosmic Crew today and get instant access to exclusive perks. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more intergalactic adventures.